Well, 30 minutes ago, I had a pretty positive video planned. I was making mental notes of what I wanted to touch on, and then another completely embarrassing fold. The word of what I just witnessed is escaping me. Giving up the game. Fold. I'm just gonna stick with fold. My brain is fried watching the last quarter of football. Collapse. Disgrace. In case anyone, by the way, I got a mic. Really disappointed with the AirPod audio quality. My first two videos. Usually it's not a problem because I had mics for my cameras, but for these Ravens videos, I've been just using the computer. So I was using the AirPod mic. Somehow, we still can't get high quality audio on phone call type stuff. You know, we can FaceTime each other in 720, but AirPods and phone calls still sound like they did in the 1950s, which is crazy. But this should sound a lot better than the first 2 weeks. I mean, guys, I had such a positive outlook on this game, and it's just ruined. And it doesn't make me feel any better because the Andy Dalton Panthers just put up 36 on the Raiders. So it makes last week look worse. This was a disgrace. Just run to the locker room. Shake hands as fast as you can. Run to the locker room. And for the first 3 quarters of this game, I was very happy. First of all, shout out Dallas. You guys didn't quit. It was obvious, at least physically, you guys were outmatched a majority of this game, but you didn't quit. And you took advantage of our negatives, of our weaknesses. And again, the only reason why the Ravens won this game is because they were up 22 instead of, 17 or 18 or whatever. Justin Tucker's cooked. I'm telling you, we're going to keep seeing the effects of what's going to happen to this franchise without being able to rely on Justin Tucker to bail us out anymore. But it was obvious that the Ravens had a very good week of practice. They had a game plan that they stuck to for the first time this year. We went into this game with an identity. We said, look, this offensive line, we're not throwing downfield. We're making use of what we got. It's a decent line if we're running the ball. So we're just going to pound it and pound it and pound it and pound it. Feel free to make memes out of that if you want. And for 3 quarters, that was effective. The passing game was just swings out the backfield, simple routes. We're talking Bateman. Aguilar finally had a reason to be employed by this team today. Look, if you're going to have him, at least use him. Why he got that one touch. The man broke off, a 70-yard play almost. And don't see him the rest of the game. He did have a good block on one of Henry's runs. But you cannot close 2024 football running up the middle. You have to make plays. And today our only play was Lamar trying to run at the end. He ended up with 14 carries. Mark Andrews had 1 target. Isaiah Likely had 1 catch. It was in the first half. So the tight end passing game that we've relied on is just non-existent right now after the first week blow up. Our third stringer, Kolaire, had the one big play in the first. Like Lamar threw for 182. Literally half of that was on 2 plays. And neither was like a downfield pass. They were yards after catch. Bootlegs, play action. What a mess, guys. Only real football fans, for the most part, watch my videos, so you guys know. After a game like that, it's easy to be speechless. I was happy we had that game plan and stuck with it. we stuck with it to the end, that's for sure. Like, we made no attempt for the most part to open it up there at the end. And obviously, some things went Dallas's way. Zay not being able to get the onside kick, but that's football. Two questionable calls. I thought they were both bad calls, the pass interference and then the roughing the passer right after it. But again, if you close the game when you're up 28-6, that drive doesn't even matter. So that's where I'm at with it. You guys know I don't complain about refs. Those were probably the two worst calls of the year, in my opinion. If you take out the random Ronnie Stanley, like 5 offensive line penalties against the Chiefs, which I still don't understand what was being called. And I don't think that's been called since, like, in the entire league. So that was weird. But again, that should not have mattered. We finished the game with 28. It was 28-6, early third, and just a complete fold. I don't know if Nate Wiggins got hurt, if he got benched. We finished that game with 4 safeties on the field, guys. 4 safeties. Zach Orr is just... he's overthinking it. It's not that crazy. You don't need to reinvent defense. I was calling for more 3 safety sets because that's what made Kyle Hamilton such a threat these past 2 years. And now we're playing 4 safeties. I mean, Ardarius Washington was getting cooked in the fourth quarter. Cooked. We don't need 4 safeties on the field. Especially when you know it's every single play is going to be a pass. How many rushes did Dallas have? The Dak ones don't count. So like 10, 11 carries. I bet most of that was the first half. We rolled 4 safeties out there when they were doing nothing but passing. Shout out Dallas's tight end, Ferguson. I'm not all that familiar with him. Bro looked like a young Mark Andrews out there. I mean, that's what us Ravens fans are used to seeing. All right, so this is his third year? Yes. Oh, yeah, 71 catches last year. All right. So I probably know that. I don't watch as much NFC ball. But Ferguson was balling out there. I just don't know, guys. If the team that just got housed by Andy Dalton's Panthers came back on us, and then, obviously Dak with these threats on offense, it's nothing to take lightly, but we just knew it was going to be a pass-heavy play and just cooked. Marlon Humphrey had a good game. It's like Stevens had a good game. It's like our 2 corners had good games. Wiggins got cooked a couple times. That's why I'm saying I'm not sure if he got benched or got hurt. And then that 4 safety set, I just... I rewinded it on my YouTube TV. I was like... because I know he's a safety. I mean, maybe they're trying to make him a corner, like what we did with Stevens as his career progressed. And I was like, oh, no, Eddie Jackson's on the field. Nope, Kyle's out there because Kyle's banged up. I was like, did Kyle come out? Nope, Kyle's still out there. And, Marcus is out there. Wow. Okay, 4 safeties. I don't know. Maybe that was to try to counteract how Ferguson was killing us down the middle of the field. But when you let a team come back on you that bad, when they're not even attempting to run the ball, obviously it's going to take Zach Orr. It's just like a rookie coming into the league. Like, this is his first time drawing up the plays. I don't know if maybe Harbaugh needs to have a little bit of say on our scheme at least. Not like down by down plays. But the safety thing, that was crazy. Did you guys know Ezekiel Elliott's on the Cowboys again? Wow. CeeDee Lamb, dude's electric. We all know this. Cowboys fans, I actually be interested to see in the comments what you guys are feeling about CD right now. This is the danger of throwing all that money at wide receivers, because when it comes to winning big games, it usually doesn't matter that much if you have an above-average receiver versus a great receiver. Through the course of a season, just the drama it comes with, his body language, he was pouting, doing the the jump thing that receivers do when they don't get the ball. Personally, that would drive me crazy as a fan. What's worrying me the most is we got a huge game next week. First place schedule, guys. It does not get any easier. We got the Bills and the Bengals back on prime time. We had a prime time slot this week, prime time night slot next week. We had the prime time night slot week 1. This is what it is. If you want to be the best team in the AFC, which we were last year, by wins, this is what you got to go through every season. And so far, we are not answering the call. So we're probably going to have the 3-0 Bills in the bank next week. And our game plan for the Cowboys, more of a finesse team. They weren't scoring the ball. It was easy to pull that game plan off for 3 quarters. The Bills are going to put up points, especially with whatever the hell is going on in our secondary. Again, the pass rush is doing its thing. That's what Dak was getting hit. He was flustered. He was throwing ducks. He didn't have any picks, right? The man threw up at least 5 dead ducks today. No interceptions. Partly because of the that's probably the most offensive pass interferences I've seen. Deliberate offensive pass interferences I've seen maybe in a game ever. That was pretty funny. But effective, I mean. Better than allowing the interception, for sure. But the way we played tonight, even in the good parts, it's not going to happen against the Bills. We're not beating the Bills through four quarters playing that way. So we got to get back to the drawing board again. And we got to find a way to get the ball downfield. I'm pro getting Aguilar the ball early and letting him get some yak. We got to get the tight ends involved. Have to. Andrews and Likely down the seams. It's that needs to be the priority, honestly, if I was to pick a priority for this. Because the secondary stuff, I don't know how to fix. But I know how to fix offensive scheme. And you take, the good parts of the run game with the play action today, accepting the offensive line for what it is, and you try to get Lamar some easy throws in the middle of the field. I mean, that's his bread and butter. And right now, it's just gone. Yeah. Playing a softer team, it could not have come at a better time, because if we played another tougher team today, and this, again, Cowboys fans, this is no disrespect. If you guys, you're a finesse team. Everyone has their weaknesses. The perks of being a finesse team is in the fourth quarter when you need to just continuously throw the ball down the field, you can do it. We can't do it. If we were in your shoes today, we wouldn't have even been able to make it a game. If we were down 28-6, which the Ravens never are, mostly because of our play style. Also, shout out Lamar, 21-1 now against the NFC in his career. Funny enough, the one loss against the Giants was during my wedding, October 16th, 2022. So there's a fun fact for you guys that have been following me for a while now. Lamar's only career loss against the NFC was during my wedding. How about that? For instance, if we play like the Browns, the Bengals, who knows? They're so bad in early season. Steelers would have been an L for sure. I mean, my friend told me today, like, look at who the Steelers are playing compared to us. I'm like, yeah, but Vegas looks like they suck. Dallas might not be good. We don't really know. I think Dallas will probably still be in play for the NFC wildcard. They have a lot of weird stuff going on with everyone holding out for their money. This is going to take some time to gel, but I think you guys will be straight. I'm still very worried about my Ravens because I don't know how we can put together 4 quarters of offensive football right now. It hasn't happened. The closest thing was probably week 1, but that was pretty much just hiding behind Lamar going into Heisman mode like he was in college, and then Isaiah likely had a random breakout game, which teams have either been able to scheme against easily since, or we just don't know what we're doing. Could be both. Whew. What time are we at? 17 minutes. We usually go about 20. Let me know. Let me know in the comments how you guys, Ravens, Cowboys fans, Chiefs, Raiders. Congrats to. Oh, not congrats. I'm sorry. I told you guys my head's messed up from that game. Raiders fans, what happened? That's crazy. I guess the Panthers were just ready to go, not playing with Bryce Young anymore. But that's honestly a pretty embarrassing performance as well. It's be interested to hear what happened. Obviously, I couldn't watch the game. Whew. I don't know a single Ravens fan in my life that feels good about this team. And like I said last week, when I got a little more fired up than this week, it doesn't have to be this way. This team's really talented. And again, for the first 3 quarters today, that's why I was actually... It is the first time I've enjoyed watching the Ravens since our playoff game against Houston last year. So, 6-7 months ago? Almost 8 months. I think the jury's out on Monken versus Roman. Obviously, Roman was pretty much impossible to win in the playoffs with his offense, but at least we had an identity every week, and we were punching teams in the mouth. We just can't decide what we are. And again, with Andrew, Mark might still be battling. He just might not be himself. It's hard to really judge a tight end just by watching what we have on TV. I would have to rely more on local reporters about how he's really feeling coming back from that leg injury. But with Andrews and Likely and Zay and Algalore, like he's got some benefits. Like we don't even try to get him the ball downfield, but it's partly because Lamar, the man's got 2 seconds to set up with the O-line. So this week we said, well, we're just not even going to try that. Every pass will be immediate, and we're just going to run the ball. And can we please stop with the sweeps for Derrick Henry? 25 carries, $151. We had, I forget if it was the second or third quarter. It was a 3rd and short, and we sweeped them for nothing, while the whole rest of the game was just up the middle, is where he's doing his damage. Sweeps are for Hill. Just don't try it with Henry. It's a waste of a play. But Ravens flock, I want to hear in the comments from you guys the most. Obviously, it's better than being 0-3, but I feel pretty much just as bad about the team as I did going into the game, to be honest with you guys, because that was just... I don't know how many times this team's going to just completely implode in the 4th quarter. And again, the only reason why it didn't matter today is because we were up 22. That's the only thing that saved us. I'm not afraid to say, again, it's the Bills at home. Game of the year territory. Like, if we show up in that one and we can get the 2-2 escaping this, going into Cincinnati, we can start seeing how we stack up against the division. Maybe Pittsburgh will lose a game. Someone will help us out. Let's see who they play next week. Oh, God. They're at Indianapolis. Okay. I could definitely see the Steelers going 4-0. Well, at least we can find a way to be in second place. Because Cleveland, we don't know what's going on in Cleveland. In Cincinnati, we got to take advantage of their bad starts. Let's stick with checking out some scores here and give the out-of-town report. Interesting one tonight, Chiefs-Falcons. I could see the Chiefs dropping a game tonight only because I just feel like the Falcons got some swag last week. And the Chiefs going on the road for the first time this year. I could just see that. I could just see that being a tough game. I feel like it should be close. What's the line on that? 3. -3 on the road. Like, I could see that being a good game. Would I be surprised if the Chiefs won? Absolutely not. But I could see the Falcons pulling that off. Shout out to the Giants, who were in the running for worst team in the league going into this week, helping us out, beating Cleveland. Let's see how Deshaun played. No picks, but average of 5 yards a pass. Got sacked 8 times. Oh boy, yikes! Shout out to the young blood on Green Bay. Just, showing out. Will Levis, yikes. The Bears are going to be bad. They're going to be bad again. The Colts got their first win. It is just always funny to see when someone is amazing once they get out of a trash franchise like the New York Jets. Sam Darnold, absolutely cooking for Minnesota. 4-1, 4 TDs, 3-0. Aaron Jones, the ghost of Aaron Jones. Green Bay said, we're good. They let him go in division. Steelers, big boy football again. This is what they're going. I said in week 1, I think the Steelers should just keep playing Justin Fields. There's really no reason. Like, at least there's some type of upside there. If out of nowhere they just put Russell Wilson back in, that'd be a clown move for sure. Denver, they were also in the running for worst team in the league, but they dubbed. That's a very surprising result to me. In Tampa, we covered the Raiders-Panthers game. Shout out Mike McDonald. Seahawks at 3-0. And, the Rams came back on the beat-up 49ers. And Detroit got a nice win in Arizona. So that is our out-of-town report. We got 2 Monday night games randomly this week. Maybe, just maybe, the Washington football team could bury the Bengals in last place all by themselves. That'd be incredible. And I am very confident that the Bills will handle Jacksonville and come into the bank next week 3-0. Home game, Bills. We got to get payback for another fourth quarter fold. Surprise, surprise. The last time we played the Bills at home. Like, this team, for how we've played, being 2-2 would be huge. And even if we play like crap, I will be in a better mood next week with a win. Because at least 500 will pretty much be starting from scratch. We would have made it through playing some tough teams. And then we can really address through 4 games what the strengths are and what the weaknesses are. We already know what most of the weaknesses are. We got to figure out how to parlay those strengths into winning football. Which, again, 1-2, I can even think like that at least. So, again, props to the game plan that was at least, I'll end on a positive. It was at least good enough to give us enough of a lead where the fold, the collapse did not matter this week. If we were 0-3, I wouldn't even be talking about next week. It wouldn't matter. So, at least we got that down this week. I want to thank you guys again for joining me on my channel. I really appreciate you guys. As I signed off last week, I also have another channel doing like history and national park tours. It's called Parks with AP. I'll link that in the description if you want to check out some of my other hobbies. And I'll see you guys next week. And it'll be a late one. I went at midnight for the Chiefs game, so I will probably go at midnight again next week. So you can look out for that after the game. So thanks again for the support. I really appreciate you guys. And hashtag Ravens flock, baby. We got a dub. We're on the board.